This podcast contains descriptions of extreme violence, body horror, and adult language. Please check the description for details. Viewer discretion is advised. Could you make me a perception check, please? Your eyes are still adjusting, and you're at a level where you can't make out what is terrain, what is detritus or debris, old ruined buildings. You'd have to get up out there to see what is what. You aren't used to seeing stuff from such a low angle.
As she takes in this sight, shielding her eyes from the sun, and cognizes both just the gravity of what it is she's doing, she also takes in the sight of that singular building and looks at kind of the position of the sun and the city, and looks back to Nixe. Is this the building to the northwest of the city?
The very one?
Shit. Alright. That changes things. She kind of tugs at the mask around her face a little bit. I've got to get in there. Are you coming with me or staying back?
Well, considering that we are still talking, I think that would make things pretty clear.
I'll pay you extra if we can find what I'm looking for.
Hey, Seb.
Yes.
Can I roll to just listen?
You may. Please do it with a +1, since I can only imagine you have heard this before.
+1, please. Let me have better luck than Vex.
It's not howling wind, but it is wind which you don't often get in the city. It is a different sound. There's a different texture to it. The sound of the grains of dust and sand buffeting the few rocks and buildings that are out here. And you try your hardest, you just remain for just a moment, trying to hear the sound of beating helicopter blades. And none come. None that you can hear, but you've been fooled before.
Nixe is going to look at Vex, look her straight into the eyes and say, if that helicopter that the wandering guards mentioned earlier, if they see us, they will not take prisoners.
I've already come this far, though, right?
Actually, another thing. May I take a look around? Because there is something that I wish to see.
Yeah, you nudge, or you indicate for Vex to get down, and, you basically just say, yeah, let me take a scout real quick. You climb to the top, you peek your head out just enough to see enough of the landscape. I can only assume I know exactly what you're looking for, which is that one particular body.
Mm-hmm.
It is still there. There is a new body as well that is a good 10 meters north of it.
So I wouldn't be able to see it very well from where I am.
No, you can only barely... You could make out details about the one that's closer, the one that you were aware of. The one that's further north, not a chance in hell, especially with the way that the sunlight is bouncing across the bleached sand into your eyes.
Ugh. Oh, looks like you got a friend. Oh, nice. Oh.
Who are they?
Oh, well, I don't know the new person. Know the one who's been here for a while, though. Or, well, not know, but...
So you have been here before.
She looks at Vex as you're saying, like, how else would I have led you here?
She kind of looks away a bit.
Bit embarrassed.
Well, if the new guy managed another 10 meters or so, then who knows? They do say third time's the charm, right?
We'll need to be quick, I take it.
Oh, absolutely. There's no point in trying to be sneaky about it. I think we should just go for it, if we decide to go for it.
Right. It is at this point that I am going to give you guys two options. These are not your only options if you think of a new one, but these are the ones that I'm going to present to you as the, quote, obvious way to do this. 1. Both of you can go out at basically the same time, one tailing barely behind the other and running as fast as you can. If both of you go, then there is going to be a higher chance that you are spotted if there is a helicopter around here. Because you'll be kicking up more dust and because there's more bodies on the ground. Also, if you do that, you will both get there at the same time, and if you manage it, you both manage it. But if you need to hide, you probably will not be able to, at least together. There is no significant enough structures that both of you could hide in. You would both need to find your own hiding spots. The other option is to go out one at a time. If you do that, then there is less chance of you individually being spotted, and you will be able to hide, but it is going to mean that you are essentially having to have two rolls happen. So it's basically a decision between one roll with a negative happening, or two rolls with no negatives happening.
Oh boy.
Of course, if you have another idea, it's up to you.
Now, you also have to take into account that if we both run together, we can hold hands, which makes us intrinsically safer.
And I can support.
That's true.
That is true. You will be able to support each other if you do end up in a bad
Fleecie.
situation.
Are we marching into death together, Iris?
Well, that's the romantic option, but oh man, oh it's so tricky. So here's my line of logic, but please feel free to contradict me or come up with another plan, right? My line of logic is that if we run together, yes, there's more of a negative, but we can potentially help each other, and hopefully, like, if something bad happens, being together will be fine. Because if we're separate, there's every chance that one or both of us roll on that ones anyway and get fucked over in a way such that we cannot help each other, right? Mm-hmm. So my idea is let's just go for it and run together, but it's bad no matter what. I mean,
yeah, no, the thing is, like, with Nixe is that she's the sneaky type, but this is not a place where one can sneak.
Yeah, I'm also the sneaky type, to be fair. Like, Vex is very visibly, like, nervous, and, like, her usual, like, you know, stoic confidence is nowhere to be seen.
I think... maybe just to give the option, Nixe, like, turns to Vex is like... I've also seen, if it is specifically a tree that you're looking for, I have seen another one that is not here.
But this is where there's something else here, too, and this might be the best chance I ever have to...
Nixe gets a vague wave of deja vu, but then just kinda steels herself. I'll come along if you go.
I think she just starts climbing out. I'm getting ready to run for it. Yeah, I think she's just gonna go for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't think of a better option. I think this is what she'd do. She'd go for it.
All right, so since you're both running together, unless Nixe is about to pull something and just stay behind.
No.
Okay, so
No hard feelings if you do, honestly.
you climb out, and Nixe, you continue behind Vex. Your curiosity about what's in this damn building getting the better of you. The last time that you were here, at least with somebody else, was with that guy that you were looking for. He was wearing combat gear that you thought was strange. He was speaking in odd ways. He made comments that you didn't understand. And he was confident that he wouldn't be a target. And there he is. There's his body all the same. Vex, could you, before we make this roll, please make me a unrelated D10 roll?
Oh, God. Not a good sign.
Right. Could one of you please elect who is going to roll the D10 for how this goes?
I mean, Fleecie, I don't want to burden you. Like, unless you want to roll it, I don't want to burden you with that guilt.
Okay, Seb, GM, I grab you by the collar. I have things that help with speed and movement in my body.
Right. If you are going to lead the charge on this, then I will not make the penalty as harsh.
Mm-hmm.
Could you make a roll with a -2, please?
Oh, God! 1d10 -2. Oh, God.
Oh, Fleecie. It's been an honor.
Oh, at least, if this is how you die in this game, at least it will be my fault. Geronimo!
No. Oh, fuck! Oh, God!
Yes!
Fleecie!
Yes! Yes!
You've been in situations in the city which have been maybe not as definitively life or death, but definitely close. And if there's one thing that you know, it's that the exit can make all the difference. The difference between whether you're spotted or not can sometimes be how long you linger at the place that they are most likely to be looking. And considering that this manhole is the place where they send their troops down, you gotta get out of the vicinity of this thing as fast as possible. The electricity generators in your legs that you have used on so many occasions to help you with escapes, whether it's through electrocutions, short-circuiting electronics, or just straight up just supercharging your movement. As you are exiting from the sewers, use it as an electromagnet to give yourself that initial dash out of it. And Vex, you are able to fall behind her amidst her dust cloud, somewhat unable to see, but concealed. The two of you run. And it is then, when you are about halfway there, that you hear the sound of helicopter blades in the sky. You don't see them, you don't dare to look up or pause for even a moment. But Vex, you look to the right as you're running. And even through the dust cloud, you see those two bodies. One of them further away, 10 or 15 meters maybe. The other one closer, and dressed in black and white gear. Rotted and a husk. Could you please make me a perception roll? With a -1 because of the dust.
Well, first of all, just for our listeners, Fleecie, like the fucking expert she is, roll the fucking 10. I just feel like that's necessary to tell you guys. But,
I was like, oh god, I'm gonna kill Vex now.
So let's see what I would have rolled if I was the one in charge, huh? Oh, okay, that one's not too bad at least.
Okay. You look at that body, you glance at it, just barely, and there's this moment where a thought crosses your mind, but you don't have time to process it to such a degree where you just kind of have to put it out of your head until you're safe. And you keep running. The both of you are sprinting as fast as you can, and time slows as the panic sets in, and you manage to finally, after what seems like forever, dip into the shadows of this building. As you hear, with time to spare, the sound of the helicopter approaching, passing overhead, kicking up the sand, and continuing southward. The both of you are safe, and you're in the building. Panting and panicked, you can't help but feel a little bit of your life flash before your eyes.
For Nixe, that feeling passes very quickly and turns into immeasurable excitement over being here.
Yeah.
And for Vex, her adrenaline is going a mile a minute, and she just almost unable to savor the moment in any way, just starts immediately looking around, trying to survey the area, trying to see where they should go, where they should hide, if there's anything around that looks like something they're here to find.
You turn around, and you were surprised, both of you, in fact, because while you weren't expecting to see this here in general, Nixe also wasn't expecting to see this tree inside the building. You remember spotting the branches peeking up from what you assumed to be behind the silhouette of the building, the angle never quite affording you the information to know where exactly it was, besides having your vision blocked. And you were both confronted all of a sudden by this huge oak tree, devoid of its leaves, devoid of most of its upper branches, seemingly burned away a long time ago from what you can only assume is some kind of errant fire. And it's in the building, bursting through the roof, leaving dappled light to cast god rays of sunlight onto the dusty and sandy floor. And Vex, you know immediately. You've seen this drawing so many times, and it's missing a lot of its upper parts, but this is it. This is not just a tree, this is the tree from your book.
In a daze, she steps forward, looking up at the array of branches and just everything from just the exact details of the branches and the shape of the trunk down to just its color and appearance. She reaches into her pack and takes out her notebook and just flips to the page. And for a solid few seconds just looks at the drawing, looks back up at the tree again.
Vex, you look down at the drawing, and as you raise your eyes, the scene changes. You're still here, but you're in a memory. And you're sat in a chair which you gather must have been placed here at some point, and you can see that somebody's talking on the phone. You barely even registered that it was here. But you can't make out what they're saying. The only thing that you have any concern with is your drawing. And you look down and you see the tree half completed, almost a reflection of how it looks now in the real world. But you look up and see the image of what you saw in the diary in the current world. Branches still intact, its foliage still there, exactly as you have seen so many times. And you are watching your hand dance across the page with a skill that you just have never thought to have. And as you look at this tree, your eyes can't help but dart over to just beyond it, just beyond the trunk, where you see somebody else sitting in a chair, looking forlornly out of the window, with this almost ethereal white hair going from their head all the way down to the floor, and their skin is paler than anyone you've ever seen. And as you go down to continue sketching this tree, you see that woman turn her head to look to you, and you lock eyes with hers. And they are bleached like white coral, with just the black pupils breaking up that silhouette. And you're back in reality, and that chair that she was sitting in is tipped over, its leg broken, and it's nowhere to be seen. Please add the memory of this moment and name it whatever you like. Nixe. You've seen the branches of this tree so many times, and when they disappeared from sight, you probably had a number of thoughts, but none of them ever thought that you'd see it. And confronted in front of you is something that almost no one in this city has the opportunity to do. To feel the bark of a fully grown tree, even if dead. How do you feel?
I think, at least for a moment, the little little shithead gremlin inside Nixe kinda takes a break. And she just, in awe, lets her fingers run across the bark and just take in what it feels like. Just kind of forgetting anything that she usually is in the present. And it's just... there are not really any thoughts going through her head. She's just taking in everything in.
Your fingertips trace along the organic structures, the knots, the flaking pieces of bark, and the way that it all seems to have this singular direction to it, a grain. It's an inanimate structure, and yet there's this familiarity. Unlike stone or metal or any other material, plastic, nothing like that. And you almost feel this instinctual part of yourself that you have maybe not felt for a long time. The human part of yourself just melt into peace.
Vex, having been this time truly in a daze for almost a couple of minutes now, finally closes her notebook, puts it away. She steps up towards the tree as well, holding up a hand as though to come up and start feeling the bark with Nixe, but just before her hand touches the bark, she jerks it back slightly as though almost like coming out of a trance, and she starts looking around. The phone, where's the phone? Is it...
It's in the corner. You see it.
That's the phone that connects to the outside, right?
Nixe just kinda being prompted by Vex, just kinda like almost kinda snapping out of her own little daze and letting that human part of her go back to sleep.
Vex walks over to the phone.
You both come to this phone, and it is in surprisingly good shape. The black plastic is kept fairly intact, although you can see the dust and sand of the desert has intruded upon this building and made its way into the cracks of the buttons of the phone numbers. Nonetheless, it's seemingly completely intact. You see a cable leading into the ground, and seemingly this thing is being powered somehow, you imagine, by some kind of either battery or something similar.
Is there anything listed on it or near it? Any information like a phone number or something?
There is a couple of notable things on the table that sat here. You see carved into the plastic is, seemingly done with some kind of a blade, is a name. And it wouldn't have been significant if it weren't for the fact that it is here, of all places, in this particular location. And that name is Olivia.
I assume that doesn't ring any particular bells.
It does ring a bell, but not in a huge way. You feel like you know it, but it's such a mundane name that you can't put your finger on it. The other thing that you see is what seems to be an old notebook from fabricated paper, not pure by any means, not in this day and age. And you see that the majority of the pages have been crumpled and run through and stained, but you flick through it, having to actually pick it up from the floor, and you see some various, like, just random ramblings of just seemingly people trying to note down information that they needed to keep or anything of the sort. And you see it's a date, and the date is pretty much around the time that you remember waking up with no memory. And underneath it, it says extraction. You are still presented with one question. Is this the phone? The only way that you would know how to get that information of if it's the one that you've been hearing in your dreams all this time is to somehow get this to ring. You'll need to call somebody and ask them to call this phone.
She steps up to the phone, having looked at everything else, and almost trying to recreate something, seemingly. Nixe watches as she just slowly reaches up, gently wraps her hand around the receiver, and picks it up and puts it up to her ear.
Who do you call?
The Ghostbusters. No. I will call Stitch.
Obviously the non-telling part of this ring, which is the ringing tone that you hear, goes for a few rounds, and fortunately you know that this is, well within his working hours. So, a couple rings later, you hear the distinct voice, and I imagine that, Nixe, you can easily hear through the bleed over from the speaker. You hear Stitch's voice on the other end just go, Stitches, what can I do?
Hey, Stitch, it's me, Vex.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I don't have much time right now, but I just I'll explain later, but please, as soon as I hang up, can you call this number back?
Okay.
Just call it back. That's all I need you to do, alright? I'm gonna hang up now.
Alright, sure.
She hangs up.
There's this pause that takes longer than you would like. It feels like a lifetime as you're waiting. But eventually, the silence is broken. And it's not the one. It's bright. There's no aftermath. This isn't the phone that you've been looking for.
She, with a shaking hand, picks up the receiver to make it stop ringing, but then much too hard slams it back down again, and then again, and then a few more times, growling. Fuck! Ugh. Come on! I was so close, I thought I'd found something.
Nixe, how do you react?
Nixe has, for the most part, just been trying to take mental note of everything Vex has done until this point. And doesn't really... She leaves the reaction for later, basically. And it's just taking everything in.
She paces back and forth a few times, just screwing up her hair with her fingers. What is any of this? What am I supposed to do with this? Okay, so this is the tree, but who was that? Who was she? What is this place? Where's the fucking... What am I supposed to be doing? I don't get it. Just... fuck.
You find yourself in this frustration, pacing around, just not sure what to do with yourself. You find yourself coming to a rest, at least in some regard, almost unable to think. And you realize that you've got your hands on the windowsill of the very same window that that girl was looking out of. And you hang your head, kind of realizing all of a sudden that there's no glass in this window anymore. And you look, your eyes can't help but open and flutter to the ground outside, where you see the curious sight. Not sand, but dirt. Next to one of the bigger tree roots peeking out from the ground. And you see that carved into that root is something.
She squints, trying to get a better look at it. If she isn't close enough, she'll literally just swing herself out of the window to bend down and look.
Mm-hmm. It's a very simple X. And there is soft earth beneath it, compacted a little from just being here for so long, but of a different consistency to the rest of the sand around you.
She puts her hand down, screws up the dirt a little, trying to see if there's something there.
You sift your hands through, using them as a sieve, to just see if there's anything in here, and you eventually feel that telltale sensation of cold metal on your fingers, and you, perhaps with some level of uncontained, ferocity, rip it from the ground, and it's in your hand. It's small, and you are almost scared to open your hand. But as your fingers unfurl, you see a house key with the number 47 written on it.
She clenches that key in her hands almost to the point where it cuts into her fingers and puts that in her pack as well. She swings back into the window again.
You see that Nixe was staring.
Probably just staring at that, watching that whole thing transpire.
Absolutely.
Yeah. She seems to. It's odd how almost immediately calmed she is. She sees that Nixe can see that her hand is still in her pack, clenched around it, and she is just looking down at the floor, very clearly, overwhelmed.
Hey, you know what time it is. It's time for the shilling. But first, I just wanted to give a quick, huge thank you to the sudden influx of fan art that we've been getting. I've had a couple of pieces on my Blue Sky and in my Discord. It's been so fucking cool to see. Thank you so much to all those awesome people who have been doing that. It genuinely brings me so much joy to see people enjoying it enough to depict the characters as they see them. I won't, let's just get into it, right? I hope you've been enjoying the episode, and if you have been, and you want to see an episode ahead of time right now, guess what? You probably know it already, but I'll say it again. You can join my Patreon and support me for as little as $1 a month to get hold of an episode in advance. So you can listen to episode 10 right now if you go and support me there. You can also support me for a larger amount if you just want to be cool, but even the $1 will get you that extra episode, and that is over on patreon.com/eternal_savvy. Again, that's eternal_savvy. And speaking of eternal_savvy, that's also where you can find me pretty much everywhere else, whether it's Twitch, Blue Sky, or think of a website. If I'm not on there under that name, then I'm probably not on there. But yeah, the only place where that's different is my VOD channel for my Twitch VODs, which is staying_savvy. But yeah, same name everywhere. Speaking of YouTube, if you're listening to this on YouTube, then I would really appreciate it if you'd consider helping us out by liking, commenting, and subscribing. The comments in particular, it's always just really nice to actually see what you guys are thinking and interact with you down in the comments. It also pushes the algorithm to say, hey, this is a cool thing, please show it to people. Yeah, so that's super appreciated. But if you're listening to this on one of the RSS feed sites, such as Apple Podcasts or Spotify, then if you could just go ahead and put a rating on the show, then that is a massive help as well. Downloading it as well to your device from said places is also a massive help too. But yeah, if you want to be one of the wonderful people who sends in fan art as well, then you can do so by tagging me on Blue Sky at eternal_savvy and use the hashtag Heart of Hope, and also join my Discord if you want to place it there as well. But other than that, there's no special thanks in terms of prompts today, so we will just be getting back to the episode. I hope you enjoy what's to come. Bye-bye.
Hey Sam, I just want to I want Nixe to just scan around to like see if there's any other points of interest.
You take a look around, and the main things that you find are, well, aside from the obvious, is there is a old cabinet, like a filing cabinet basically. It's incredibly rusted. It's been tipped over. A lot of the files seemingly, pillaged for whatever value they might have. But there is, a couple left in there. You see that there is a lot of documentation which, quite intriguingly, is from what you think is the dates from when this city was being built. This may have very well been a foreman's office that was overseeing the construction of Hope's Rise. And you do see that kind of, that official level of mumbo jumbo of, various logos for companies and numbers to call old construction companies, and keeping track of in and out for bricks and mortar and all of the things you would expect. And furthermore, you see that there is what seems to be documents from scientific companies, not for building, and they're dated differently. They're dated when most of Hope's Rise had been completed, and you know that the dates match up with when this place would have been starting to take the turns for the worst. And there's nothing that incriminates, anyone that you know by any means, but you note that it is referring to locations in the city which were eventually taken over by Section C. And what's more, there are certain facilities and addresses that you don't recognize as anywhere within the city, and yet they are still listed as City Hope's Rise.
She just sighs out loud. Of course it would be Section C. Ugh.
It's Vex's turn to come over and peer at what Nixe is doing.
And she's not trying to withhold anything, she just hands it to Vex so that she can read it too.
Yeah, she scans through it. She would eventually fold it up and put that in her pack as well. It's a bit more stuffed full than usual.
I'm not sure how much of a good idea that is.
These are pretty old documents, right? Like, they aren't like... It doesn't look like somebody was about to come back to these, did it, Sev?
The info that's in them... I mean, if they've been here this long, it's either because it's not valuable or because no one made it this far. You don't know how sensitive this information could be. The fact that there is addresses listed here which seem to be well within the city limits but nowhere that you recognize, that in and of itself might be an indicator that this is at least a little bit of a thing that put it this way. This information is not immediately sensitive to anyone who would stop you. But if the wrong person at the wrong time found this on you, you suspect that this would probably be bad news. But then again, for you, maybe bad news isn't bad news if somebody recognizes it.
She just looks at Nixe and says, I can copy this down and send it to you as well if you want.
She just points at her noggin I have a pretty good memory. But if someone catches you having that, and they will know that I came with you, then they know that I also know.
Upon the kind of discussion of, information and things of value, it both hits you that you were standing in a room with a material that you think maybe almost no one in the city has access to. By no means can you cut down an entire tree and take it with you, but you suddenly become presciently aware of the fact that even a single branch of this stuff is, that would go for a pretty good sum of money. Whether or not you would be the type to do that, to disrespect this thing's existence in favor of money, is up to you. It is a cutthroat world in Hope's Fall, after all.
As much as Nixe would love to take home fun souvenirs from her travels, she's gonna be running from a helicopter again soon. She's not gonna be carrying a branch as much as she wants to.
That's fair. I think that Vex is, to be honest, as obviously significant and sacred in some ways that this tree is to Vex. I think that years and years of weighing all practical factors above everything else would motivate her to at least take a couple small branches. Not anything structurally crazy, just from the outer branches, but she would take a couple, yes.
So just minimum of 6 favor worth?
Yeah, I'll take the 6. I'll take the 6 favor worth, and specifically, I'll specifically split it up so that she can, potentially keep one small branch just for herself, but...
Right, so, Vex, you have gathered a few branches at this point, and you take a last little look around to see if there is anything else, and it is frustratingly scarce, but as you're running your mind across everything, thinking, surely there's more here than just vague clues, something strikes you again. When you were running, you had a reaction to that body that you saw. You just couldn't really process it in the middle of, trying not to die. It's when you finally put your mind to going back to the sewers that you have the time to process that instant thought that you had. That thought was recognition. You knew that person. There could be something on him which could be eminently important. You don't know, but it is out in the middle of the no man's land, pretty much as out of the way as you could really hope. You would have to take a diversion to get to him.
Right. Okay. Well, I think for now, she's going to... I imagine she and Nixe have just been, like, doing one more once-over through the building, catching their breath. She's taking the branches, all of that. She looks to Nixe. So now we just have to sprint back, yeah?
Yep.
Do you think it'd be a good idea to, like, wait for it to pass?
Waiting for it to pass, and then as soon as it's passed away far enough, that will give us the most amount of time to run back, sure. If the helicopter is the only thing patrolling, that is.
These guys got nothing better to do, huh? Starts thinking about the body. Yeah,
What you thinking?
Nothing, Fleecie. So, Sab, what happens next?
Yeah, you camp out kind of as close to the entrance to this place as you can manage without, being visible. And, yeah, so it's been about 20 minutes that you've been by the door. And you eventually hear and almost feel that the pressure of the air, of the beating of those blades in the distance, as eventually you see the sand getting kicked up once again as a helicopter, you don't know if it's the same one, passes from the south to the north. And yep, it seems to have passed. You wait for the sounds to be far enough in the distance that you could probably gather that it is not immediately within sight.
Iris, should I take the lead again?
Yeah, I think...
Since I have my big strong legs.
Yeah. Vex stands up, stretches. Same strategy.
Yep, I mean, if it ain't broke, why fix it,
Alright, give me a roll with a -2, please.
Oh, I'm so scared. I'm so fucking scared. Please, let me catch lightning one more time. Oh, I don't want to look at it.
Okay,
Can Vex support me?
I can support you, and maybe with your lightning legs we'll be okay, but let's see what Sam says.
How is that a support 1 or support
yeah,
2?
it'd be 1, so that's up to 5, which isn't enough, but
Right, okay, so 1 moment.
Oh, God, yeah,
Of course.
It's okay. It's okay.
You start running. You once again, you're just gunning it as fast as possible. At least I assume. And you are hearing the beating of your feet against the sand. You are feeling the heart in your chest beating faster and faster. And it takes a moment for you to register, but you realize you don't think they've seen you. But the sound of the helicopter is getting closer, again. And you suddenly recognize that there's just this brief moment where you suddenly remember, fuck, there's collector territory up north. Of course they would be turning back. already. They can't go any further north because that would be breaching the fucking, you know, the borders. And so you realize that you are like a hair's breadth from being seen, and all that there is left to do is to run, unless you have anything else that you want to do.
No, listen. Nixe is just gonna go for it. If Vex tries to do something, then she dies. Nixe is just gunning for it and not looking back.
Vex, you are at the last possible moment where you could reasonably make a diversion to go to that body. You may not get another chance.
I think what Vex is gonna do is she's going to take out her gun and several times at her feet fire into the sand such that the dust cloud being kicked up by Nixe is even larger, such that Vex will be very much obscured by the dust cloud, and all they'll see is Nixe, which might give me the extra second she needs to go for it. And she's gonna, after she does that, start running towards the body of the guy she recognizes. And I want to ask, how, just based on a quick glance, the quick glance she's gotten, and based on how far away he is from the manhole, how feasible is it, do you think, like, in terms of quickly searching him versus just saying fuck it and trying to, like, heave him over her shoulder and carry him or drag him to the manhole? Like, which one seems more feasible? Because, like, she could try to just whole ass drag the body, but not if it's, like, way too far, you know?
Yeah. So, here's the thing. You can try and search him, and if you're lucky, you'll find something of worth. The body is decomposed enough that it won't be too heavy, you think, but it's still gonna be a thing to haul that's the size of a person. The toss-up is basically low chance of finding anything of value, but you could probably make a break for it if you need to, or pick him up, and if you get him in there, hey, you've got him, but you could very well end up taking some gunfire. That being said, could you first of all please roll me that d10 to see how much dust you can kick up? I'm going to give you a +1 on top of anything else that you have, because the nature of this gun is that it is just fucking, it's an absolute beast of a gun.
All power, no precision. It's
exactly
huge.
So
yeah.
This is the precise kind of, this is the kind of caliber bullet which does cause fucking, you know, booming ripples and stuff. So, do you have any way you can support that?
I mean, not only did I just used it on Nixe, and even if I did, it's not enough. No.
You do that, and the dust does kick up, and you, in any other situation, would probably note that it is probably enough to cover you, and it would work. The trouble really comes from the fact that this is a powerful gun, and it's a fucking loud gun. Yeah, you see the helicopter closing in, and Nixe, you're going to be able to get there safe. Before I do anything, I'm going to ask you if you are just genuinely going to jump back in, that is fine.
Dude, just do what Nixe would do, dude. Don't try to help me here.
Yeah. Out of character, I'm sorry. But yeah, in character.
Don't be sorry. I thought about shooting you.
Well, alright.
I considered it. I decided not to, but...
You know what? Nixe is gonna do a cool slide down into the manhole and just in fucking case, because you know the way that sound travels, I'm just gonna almost close the lid.
Just live in bliss down there, you know?
Alright, so yeah, Nixe, you end up doing a fucking combat slide straight into the manhole. Yeah, no, you are safe. Vex, I'm gonna make a roll. This is just gonna be a raw D10. But you know what? I'm actually gonna do -1 to this to give you some kind of a benefit for the cool idea of kicking up the dust cloud.
So that I have 1% chance of surviving this?
Yes, so 1d10 -1 to hit you.
Okay.
You hear the sound of heavy gunfire erupt from the distance after you start to see the bullets hitting the ground. The sound, the speed of sound not quite making it to you at the exact same time. And fortunately, they are far enough away that the spread on this rapid-fire, heavy-caliber machine gun, it is coming close to you, but none of it gets you. What do you do?
She is running towards the body, and she is just going to pick it up, tucked underneath one arm, and just grit her teeth, and sprint like she has never sprinted before for the manhole.
Alright, you have a choice here. You are no longer in dust cover, so it is going to get its regular bonus, because it has now gotten close enough to get the +1. You register that this body is wearing pretty decent gear, to a point where it might be able to actually absorb a little bit of damage, not just by virtue of it being a body which can act as a shield. If you do that, however, you will risk damaging items on his person, but you will obviously be more likely to take less damage. What would you like to carry this in such a way as to shield you?
May I choose not to yet, but potentially on a future thing.
Alright, so for this first one then, to be clear, because I want you to understand the odds here, now that you have this body in tow, normally with the diversion, you would need to sustain 2 rounds of fire to get back. With the body in tow, it's gonna be 3 on if things don't go poorly, basically. Mm-hmm. So, here's the first roll. This is gonna be with the +1. That is a critical hit for an extra 1 damage on top of whatever you're about to take, unless you can do something about it.
I don't think I can hinder that with my foot. So I think
here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's not... You don't have to literally flavor it as you hitting it. You can literally just say, like, yeah, you literally just juke to the side.
I will hinder that so it is simply a regular hit, yes. I will say she is trying to serpentine her way, which is really hard and really clumsy while carrying this guy. But, like, she is trying to serpentine as best she can.
So, here's the... So, very good. It means they're not going to get extra damage and they're not going to be able to choose where they hit you. Reducing it to a 10 does, however, mean that it is going to hit your head.
That's fine.
Could you please take 3 damage to the head?
Oh, 3, huh?
Yep. I believe you only have 3 on your head, don't you?
Okay, well, let me ask this real quick, just so we're clear.
Yes.
If I don't hinder this, where is it? I assume they'll still choose to hit my head, TBH.
Yeah?
Okay, then I can't, then there's probably nothing I could do. I'm just losing everything on my fucking face, dude.
Right. Hey, Nixe, I want to ask you something.
Uh-huh.
Would you be watching at this point?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna see this. Vex. You hear the gunfire. You can feel that they've got a bead on you. And you do your absolute best to serpentine the best you can. But this is a weapon that is designed to suppress an area, and with that knowledge, you know that it's only going to be so effective. You are, however, unfortunately greeted by the sudden sensation of your head exploding and your vision going dark. However, something somewhat familiar happens. Could you please make me a D10 roll to see if you can keep your senses enough to interpret what's about to happen to you?
Make a D10 roll to comprehend the magnitude of your suffering. No.
The instinct comes to you, like how what happened when you were fighting Corvus. And your consciousness just fades. You are running purely off instinct. You can see nothing. All you feel is the rush of air around you, the sand hitting against your skin, your cloak, the weight of this man, and the knowledge that the manhole is directly in front of you. And Nixe, you see, as she stumbles for a moment, and her headless body gathers its weight underneath itself and just keeps running. Vex, I would like you to tell me what you are doing with the knowledge in mind that you can't think clearly. Could you please add a point of bloodthirst?
Yep.
Nixe, I cannot overstate this. In this world, in this time period, people are incredibly difficult to kill. It is very hard to kill somebody in a myriad of ways which normally used to be lethal. There has remained exactly one thing that has been a surefire way to kill someone, however, and that is total destruction of the brain. You are witnessing something that is totally inhuman. Vex, what do you do?
I'll be real. I don't think, in the most literal sense that I have ever said this, I don't think she has the presence of mind to use the thing as a shield. I think she's just running.
Alright, I'm gonna make a roll. This is, however, gonna be with a... This is gonna be with a -1, because I just don't think the people in the helicopter would think they need to keep going for much longer. So... yeah, you hear the gunfire sort of wind down. Well, no, you don't hear it. Nixe does. Nixe hears the gunfire winding down. You, Vex, feel the thumping of the ground around you start to recede into less frequency until it is eventually gone. There is a pause. You keep running. That's all you can fucking do right now. And Nixe, you are just mouth agape watching this happen. And there's this pregnant pause as all of a sudden you see that the people in the helicopter must also have registered that you're still up, and they open fire again. Vex, I'll ask you, I will say this, the only thing which I think that you could reasonably think to do is try and maybe get this body in the way of your body a bit more. but at the same time, I don't know whether you think you would think to do that right now, considering you don't have a brain.
Let's just go for it, dude. Let's just fucking go for it.
Okay, here comes the third and final shot at you, once again with a +1. That is a miss. Nixe, you see the gunfire just spreading around her. Seemingly they need a moment to kind of like readjust the stream of bullets into the right place, and by the time that they start to hit the right location, you duck your head down as you see the simultaneous like incoming bullets and also the entire headless person who is about to come into this manhole, who, I should mention, does not like gracefully like climb down. Vex, you all of a sudden simply feel the sensation of the floor beneath you giving out, and you just fucking bouncing between the walls of this fucking manhole entrance as you roughly hit the floor. Could you please take 1 damage to... we're gonna do a D5 as to simulate this just being an auto hit. That would be your legs.
Yep.
What have you chosen to break, just so I know?
Just one of my bones.
Just one of your bones, yeah.
Just one of them. It's all good.
You hit...
Femur's still in there.
Yeah? You hit the bottom, and you feel that the sensation of your lower leg literally just snapping in two, as your entire body weight plus an entire other a dead body in all fairness, but an entire other body is put fully on a singular leg just purely by chance. Nixe, I think you just instinctually close the manhole, and you look down to see apparently a still living but headless Vex.
And some other guy.
And some other guy.
Is it the guy that I saw?
Yeah, it's the dude that you knew about, that you were looking for, with the armor on. You have no idea why the fuck she went to go get him.
Okay, so I think for, like, there are multiple things going through her head. It's just the general, what the fuck, about this whole situation. And then there's, like, a part of her that is, like, kind of wants to, like, look back and see if her head is out there. But then, you know, some logic comes in and is like, no, probably a horrible idea. And then it's just like, get out of here first, reactions later. Like she usually does when she feels she's about to get caught, because she feels that if people above have noticed them sliding into the manhole, then they will probably report to the people down here. So she's just gonna go down and just be like, oh, okay,
So, here's the thing.
Yeah?
Can you answer me this question? How much blood... So your new bond with Nixe, just to clarify, would have started at 2 bloodthirst out of 3, because I'm not putting it to 4, because you've only just met her. But you would be at 2 out of 3 for this bond with her. In terms of your bloodthirst, please tell me how many empty, unfilled bloodthirst points you have.
So with Stitch, I cleared that one a couple sessions ago, and the one that I just cleared this session was with Brimstone. So now I have 1 filled with Lola, still 2 with Nixe, and then Epherise, I might have forgotten.
That would have been 2 out of 3 as well.
That's 2 out of 3? Okay.
Yeah.
So in that case, it's 12 unfilled. Or, sorry, 11.
Okay, in that case, with 11 unfilled bloodthirst points. So, you are at the bottom of this ladder shaft. And, you know, for all intents and purposes, consciousness shouldn't even be a thing that you have access to, right? And yet, you almost feel like your nerves and veins are electrified. Like they are being overclocked to the nth degree. Like every single part of your body is operating at a level that you didn't... Like, it's not even feasible to you. It's almost overwhelming, right? And yet, because of that sensation, you can still feel the world around you. You still feel the wetness of the concrete underneath you. You still feel your broken leg, the weight of the body on top of you, the vibrations of the ladder that one of your feet is pressed against as you imagine Nixe is climbing down it. There is something within you that has somehow allowed you to be present. Not with any higher function, but enough that you can perceive the world around you through touch.
Right.
Nixe, you see Vex's body sort of... I imagine you kind of like sit up and just like very... with an amount of a struggle, kind of push the body off of you as your arms, you kind of like raise your arms almost like in that way that's like, what, like if you had eyes you would be looking at them like, what the fuck happened to me, right? But you're just there, and Vex, they're sitting, and Nixe, Vex is sitting up.
She kind of is feeling around herself, like, almost like, okay, that's the thing I was carrying. She touches that. She touches the floor.
I think that, like, Nixe is in such a state of, like, shock that just... She kind of, like, reaches out a hand for Vex to touch, to just be like, I am also here.
She grabs the hand probably a little bit too tight, and kind of holds it as she pulls herself to her feet. She still has the corpse of the man tucked under one arm, and I think she... You know, I made the joke, if we hold hands, we're safer, right? And you know, that actually... I think that's actually the case now. So, I think in this lower functioning state, although she feels, of course, this just immense electrification, Vex still probably on some level understands that she is, like, in danger because she cannot see right now, and thus is just gonna keep holding Nix's hand, like, not so tight that she can't pull away, but to the point where it's like, okay, you can now escort me if you want.
Oh god, yeah, you know what? Let's... We're gonna play Econa, because there's still a part of, like, purely out of experience with, like, you can't dilly-dally in a place for too long where you've been detected. You gotta get out of there. So, like, Nixe just goes into some sort of, like, really aware autopilot, and it's just like, alright, we're backtracking, we're going back, we're gonna do our best to avoid those guards, but we're gonna get the fuck out of here, and I'm ready to electrify a bitch if I have to.